maps are an important way for archaeologists to visualize and contextualize the location of objects found on an excavation. To create maps, archaeologists can use a variety of tools and technologies, ranging from hand-drawn maps to advanced remote sensing techniques. For this video, we will cover the use of total stations as mapping tools in archaeology. A total station is a measurement device most often used in surveying. It measures distance and angles, which are used by mapping applications to create a map of a given area. To begin creating this map, a few initial points are measured at the site using advanced GPS technologies. These are called control points, and for the highest level of accuracy, an individual site will need at least 2 or 3 of these. During the excavation, total stations are used to measure the location of items relative to these points. These recorded points, or datum, are stored on a data collector in the field, then transferred to a software application that creates a map of the collected data. To collect these measurements, the total station works in conjunction with a rod, which is sometimes called a prism pole. Inside of the total station, there is an electronic distance measurement device, or EDM, that sends an electromagnetic signal to a prism that sits at the top of the rod. The prism reflects the electromagnetic signal back to the total station, which allows the total station to calculate the slope distance between itself and the rod. The total station also contains a theodolite, which consists of a telescope and angle measurement devices. The theodolite measures the vertical and horizontal angles between the total station and a point in the distance, typically the prism on the rod. These 3 measurements, horizontal angle, vertical angle, and slope distance, along with the height of the instrument and the height of the rod, are stored in the data collector for future mapping. Before collecting these measurements with the total station, there are a few steps to set the excavation site up for mapping. First, as mentioned before, at least 2, but ideally 3 or more, control points are identified on the site. Using advanced GPS techniques, the precise location of these points on a known coordinate system are measured and recorded. These will be stored in the data collector and used as baseline data. These baseline measurements are what allow us to map the location of other points on a known coordinate system. The total station will measure the location of everything else in relation to these control points. This is why we need at least 2 or 3 control points, so that we can use the baseline measurements to triangulate the location of a third point. When using a total station to measure points of interest on a site, the total station operator will perform a backsite check at the beginning of each day, as well as periodically throughout the day. This ensures the most accurate measuring, as the total station position can drift slightly over the course of the day. To do a backsite check, the total station is set on a control point. The rod is placed on another one of the control points on the site, which in this case functions as a backsite. The total station operator will verify that the measurements taken match the baseline data collected when setting up the site. If the measurements do not match the baseline data, the total station operator will need to double-check to ensure that the total station is completely level and exactly above the control point. Then, he or she will do the backsite check again. Once the measurements match the baseline data, the rod is moved to the location to be measured, typically where an artifact or other item of interest was found. The total station operator will first measure and record 2 things: the height of the instrument and the height of the rod. Once those are recorded and entered into the data collector, the total station is ready to collect the other 3 measurements: vertical angle, horizontal angle, and slope distance. Each set of 5 measurements is 1 datum, and as more of these are collected throughout the site, the map will slowly start to take shape, allowing archaeologists to piece together the puzzle of the past.